Let's record. Okay. So I am Caitlin Sosby, and we're going to talk about essential oils and children. Now I've got a chat. Yay. Okay, cool. So you can see my screen. That's good to know. Uh-oh, did it go away? The green glow around it went away, which is making me nervous. I'm trusting that you'll let me know if it goes away. So, essential oils in children. So I am assuming that if you're at this class, that you have attended some sort of basics, oils 101, how we're using oils in our family type of class. And so I specifically, when approaching this class, I was like, how can I'm not going to reteach a 101 class. I want to talk about how we can take what we know about oils and tweak it to be using the oils in a safe way for kids, safe and effective, and the kind of best practices for using them with children and babies. So a little intro, I'm Caitlin. I've been using the oils for 6 years now. I'm wife to Alan. He's a pilot in the Air Force, and we've lived many different places. Since I've started dōTERRA, I've lived in Mississippi, Oklahoma, Delaware, a short time in Alabama, and now I'm in Colorado Springs. My husband's an instructor here at the Air Force Academy right now, and we really, really enjoy this assignment. It works for us. I've got 3 kids. My oldest is 6, and then I've got a 4-year-old and an almost 2-year-old. And so I've been using oils since Lily, my oldest, was an infant. So she was 3 or 4 months old when I was introduced to the oils. She was having some tummy troubles, and I showed up at a stranger's house, got introduced to the oils, got the smallest kid available, and it worked so well for her that I kind of just jumped head first into all of this essential oil supplement, healthy lifestyle kind of thing. And I mean, I jumped into the business pretty quickly and doing this sort of thing very quickly because we saw the healing in our own home. And I wanted to share that with all of you, if I'm seeing so much help from them, it would be kind of selfish of me not to share it with other people that are also struggling with the same things. So let's just get right into what everybody's here for. How do we know that essential oils are safe for us? So whether you've used oils forever, for the longest time, longer than me, or even if you started last week, parents are generally pretty concerned, like, how do I use these in a safe and effective way for kids? Kids are smaller and generally more sensitive than adults, but it is possible for the entire family to use oils every single day, the whole family, safely on a daily basis. There are several safety guidelines, which we'll go over in this class. And here's my CYA for today. Talk to your doctor about things that you're unsure of. I'm just sharing with you what we do in our family and the healing that we've found in ways that we've supported our own bodies. And that's all I'm sharing here. Obviously, go to your doctor if you think there's something going on or if you want to clarify anything. So just get straight to it. Essential oils are safe for children. So if you're new to essential oils, it's important to know that essential oils have been used since ancient times, since like the beginning of time, guys. Ancient Egyptians used these for beauty treatments in their food, for religious ceremonies and rituals. They've been used for centuries in China. These are not new. They're not just a fad. If anything, the fad was moving away from them for a century, and then now we're getting back to our roots. We're getting back to actually supporting our whole body with wellness. This is not a new thing. It's been around for millennia. Some parents worry that essential oils are unsafe for children, but they are absolutely safe when used correctly. So like any substance, essential oils can be unsafe when used incorrectly, even for adults. But we're going to talk about just some really simple safety guidelines, and that if we stay kind of in those, then we're totally fine. If you drop some oils in your eye, it's going to hurt. And so we're going to talk about some of those sorts of things and how you can
bring that math over here.
Your use. Let's see if you guys can mute yourself, that would be very helpful. Let me see. It looks like everybody's muted, but I'm still hearing people, which is strange. Okay. So we're going to talk about how you can tweak your adult use to use a little more efficiently and safely for kids. One of the things that makes essential oils so safe for kids, though, is at least dōTERRA oils, is their strong safety standard. So if you've been to a 101 class, you know that we have the CPTG process, our certified pure therapeutic grade testing process, which is an incredibly high quality, high standard for our essential oils. And when they are setting up that standard and when they're keeping our oils to that standard, they're thinking there are people out there that are going to use these oils on their 1-day-old babies, on their 1-hour-old babies. They're out of the womb and they've already got oils on them. That was my children. And they know that. And they know that we are using this as a natural form of healthcare. And so they hold to that standard so that we can use them confidently and with peace. So if you are worried about any of the harmful contaminants and that sort of thing, you can go and look more into depth into our CPTG process and what makes that so good for us in means of like how we can feel peace using these and confidence when using these on our children. So the best way to ensure that we're using essential oils properly is to just educate ourselves, okay? All the stuff with the oils, if you buy a box of oils and it sits on your counter and you never use it, it was a waste of money for you, right? You never used it. The same thing goes here. It's safe as long as you are making sure that you know some of those basic general guidelines. So safety tip and dilutions. I know a lot of you are going to be screenshotting this page. So the most important thing with using essential oils on kids is that there is this page, right? The doses and dilutions. Remember that kids are not just tiny adults. They have a lot lower body mass and they're still developing. And their skin is a lot more sensitive than ours. So you can't just take like, okay, I'm 150 pounds and my child is 50 pounds, so I'm going to use a third of the oil. You can't necessarily think of it like that because there's a lot more differences than just the actual weight. As you can see from this chart, children require a much smaller dose of essential oils than adults when it comes to, you can see the aromatic, internal, oral, dermal uses. So dermal is like topical, right? So we're putting it on our skin, dermal use, right? The internal is referring to essential oils with a capsule. So that's like taking that veggie cap and swallowing it. And then oral is drinking or dropping essential oils directly in the mouth. So oral is when it's touching the inside of your mouth. And we typically refer to both of these methods as that internal use. This chart provides general guidelines, but remember, you must always consider the actual specific health concerns of your own children. And of course, another CYA, talk to your doctor. But one of the best ways to safely use essential oils on the delicate skin of children is to just dilute extra. By using a carrier oil like the fractionated coconut oil or like a raw coconut oil to dilute essential oils before applying it to your kids, you can protect their sensitive skin. But they can still get all the benefits of those essential oils. When you're brand new to an oil, or if you're using like a sensitive or a hot oil, I recommend that you put it on the bottoms of their feet first. It's a much thicker skin and it's not as sensitive. So Lily dealt with some skin sensitivity. She's very, very toxic. We had to do a lot of detoxing for her. And the only place that we could apply oils for a little bit was highly diluted on the bottoms of her feet. But that was a good place that we could do, or we could give her wild orange internally, and that helped her a lot with that skin sensitivity. But I'm not going to get super into that in this class. So the easiest way and safest way to allow your kids to get the essential oils is actually aromatically. So if you really want them to get some some benefits from the oils, just put some in the diffuser. They're still getting it. They need so little, even compared to us, and we don't need that much as adults, and they need so much less, that it's totally okay to just do a diffuser and they're going to get the benefits. Okay, just put it in their room and they're getting it. And then that's a way that you can feel confident, because I'm not on this class going to tell you, you have to make your kids take oils internally. You have to use them topically. No, I'm going to tell you what we do in our family. I'm going to tell you some generic safety guidelines. And then you can go and do what you feel confident with, because that's the goal of this. The goal is for you to leave feeling empowered to go and use what you use on yourself, on your kids, so that you're not grabbing those other things out of the cabinet all the time, right? So that you're grabbing your oils and supplements instead. So the point of this is to not make you do something you're uncomfortable with. The point of it is to make you, with confidence, do the things that you are comfortable with doing. So another little tip, don't give them your LLV. So even if your 5 or 6 year old can swallow pills, don't give them your LLV pack. Remember, we have different bodies. It's not just a matter of weight. It's a matter of developing and their different needs at their different ages. There's actually specific supplements and vitamins for your children. Another safety tip with kids, don't apply to their eyes. We never put oils in our eyes. We never put them, and even if you're putting it really close to the eyes, just be careful, because if they go and rub their eyes because they're little and they don't have very much self-control, it's going to sting, it's going to hurt, and it's not going to be comfortable. And so be careful about putting it around their eyes. If they've got some kind of eye issue that they're dealing with, you can put it on the bottoms of their toes. Think of the reflexology points, and it's still going to benefit their eyes, okay? Look up reflexology charts, and it'll help you kind of identify where you need to put it depending on their issue, especially if they have sensitive skin. And plus, this is really, really sensitive skin anyway. So if you've ever gotten peppermint right around here, you can recall how it feels, right? And that's with an adult, thicker skin. Imagine if you're a little kid that was just running around outside and their pores are open, they already have sensitive skin, they're going to think their face is on fire. So you have to just kind of be aware of that kind of thing. Also, don't drop oils all the way up the nose. So there are times when we've had issues where we kind of just rub it right on the inside of the nose, or we'll put something on the bridge of the nose. Both have worked well for us, but we're not pouring oils up our nose. Also, it's not necessary. Remember, our oils are incredibly potent. You need just a little bit, and it's going to work, okay? It's going to help. Also with the ears. So if you've got some ear discomfort, don't be pouring those oils down your ear. It's not necessary. You don't need to do that. Remember, they need very little oils. It's not the best practice. Take a cotton ball, put the oil that you want, and then just set it there. Maybe put a Band-Aid over it so it holds it in that spot. That's effective. Or take some of that oil and apply it just around the ear with some FCO. And that will also work. It's just not necessary to drop things down our ears and up our noses. Remember sunlight sensitivity. So citrus oils make you sensitive to the sun, okay? They make it so that if you put lemon all over you and you go outside, you're gonna get burned way faster than what you normally get burned. So avoid citrus oils topically if you know that your child's gonna be outside, especially now, nobody's in school, we're coming into summer. Just avoid those if that's a concern. Or you can put it, I'll put it on the bottoms of my kids' feet, and then they're wearing shoes over it, so it's fine. Or I'll have them use it internally, and that's fine. It's only if or sometimes I'll put it on their back, but not a part, the top of their back where the sun might hit it. Does that make sense? So it's just where it's totally okay to take it internally. It's not going to make you just more sensitive to sunlight in that way. It's just over where you're using it topically that it makes it more sensitive. And then if I really want them to have lots of oils in those places, then I'll just do it at night with that citrus oil, because then they're just sleep it off before they go outside the next day. Basic kind of things that I think everybody knows, just keep it out of reach of children, okay? because it is devastating when they go over and they find a bottle of frankincense and they dump it all over the floor. Goodbye, all that money, because you've invested hundreds or thousands of dollars in oils, and they're going to use way more than what they should. So keep it out of reach of children. It's just the best thing to do, because they're not going to have the self-control to use that one drop that they need to use. If I'm allowing my kids to apply their own oils, it's with a roller bottle that's already been made. Because then I know that even if they slather it, it's heavily diluted, and so that they can use it with their own confidence. They're learning how to use it by themselves, but I know that it's in a really safe sort of way. So here's a couple of ideas on how you can get them involved in using those as essential oils. You can use them in your cooking. And get your kids involved with it. If it's with something like banana bread, I love to put wild orange or cinnamon in my banana bread. I would let them drop those, If it's something where it's like oregano in my spaghetti, I'm not going to let them do it, because one, oregano is a hot oil and I don't want them to accidentally touch it and for it to burn their fingers. But also the spaghetti, you only need one drop in the whole batch, and I don't want them to accidentally do 5 and ruin the batch, But with some of the other things, like putting cilantro or lime in a salsa, I can trust them to do that. And I can send you a bunch of recipes as well that use essential oils. One of our favorites is like a gluten-free black bean brownie. That's what it's called. A brownie recipe with peppermint. That one's really wonderful. Gingerbread cookies. I can send you a bunch of different recipes in a follow-up email or in the comments once I post this to YouTube. You can also do DIY recipes. So I've done all kinds of great things with the kids. We'll put Epsom salt and oils in the bath with them, or we make Play-Doh with aromatherapy with the essential oil in it. So if we'll make like a purple salt dough with Serenity, and then we'll make a orange one with wild orange, and it's just a soothing activity. Not only are they sitting quietly and playing with the Play-Doh or throwing it at each other, however you want to think about it, but they're getting that aromatherapy with Serenity, which is calming, and they're getting the benefits of it while they're playing. So I can send you some of those ideas as well. So designed for children. So I'm going to show you some things that are specifically designed for children, because so many of the other classes, I taught recently an emotions class. You can watch that class, and this class will help you know how to take that class and apply it to your 4-year-old, right? So I'm not going to go over all of everything that's in a 101 class. I'm not going to go over all of everything that's in a supplement class, or all of everything that's in an emotions class. I'm going to go over how we're taking what you learn in those other classes and applying it to kids. So I'm going to show you some things that are specifically designed for kids. So topical is the best way for using essential oils with kids. We need to always be diluting. So I teach in all my classes that you should always dilute, no matter, even with the neat oils, that's not technically like required. I still always recommend dilution. There's a number of reasons. One, we don't want the flash off effect. If you're not using even just 1 or 2 drops of fractionated coconut oil with your drop of oil, you're going to lose about 80% of every drop to evaporation. It's called flash off. We don't want that. You spent a lot of money. You invested in your health with this, and you don't want to lose 80% of all your oils to the air, right? Not unless you're doing it on purpose with diffusion, where you're actually getting it out there with water, right? If it's just evaporating, you're not really getting a whole lot of benefit from it. Remember, they're aromatic compounds. They're not actually like a cooking oil like coconut oil or olive oil. It's an aromatic compound. It wants to be in the air. Another reason we're using the coconut oil is to help drive it deeper into the skin. So we don't want it to just be on that top layer of skin. We want it to be driven into the skin. And one of the things that gets it deeper into that skin is the coconut oil. It also takes longer to metabolize when we're diluting an essential oil. And that means longer effects. And so it's just all around better to dilute a little bit. And so doTERRA makes it really easy for us by giving us touch oils. So this top picture is just the generic top 10 minus lemon. So, you know, digestin, oregano, deep blue. I'm sure you guys all have variations of these oils. What's nice about the touch oils is that they're pre-diluted. So I can just grab any of these and apply it to my kids, and I know that it's good for them, right? Now, the touch oils are great, but what I usually grab first is what you see in this bottom picture. This is actually a kid's line. So those top oils, they're not specifically chosen for kids, but they are diluted where you could use them on kids, right? But the bottom picture is specifically sweet smelling, pleasant smelling types of oils, and they're more sensitive type oils, or they're oils better for sensitive skin. That's what I meant. So instead of using that sharp peppermint, we might use a spearmint in a children's blend. It's sweeter, it's not as harsh, and it's easier on their sweet, delicate skin. And so we're using that. I love that kid collection for that reason. And so we can use any of these oils on them topically. And remember, if we're putting oils on our skin, we're putting products on our skin, it's getting into our bloodstream. And so they're getting the benefit. You don't have to get your kid to take a flume balm, you know, internally. That's just not necessary for kids. Just put a little bit on the bottoms of their feet and it's going to be effective, okay? Next one. Emotional wellness. So there's plenty of blends that we can use for their emotional wellness too. Don't forget about using oils and teaching your kids how to handle their emotions in a really not only powerful but healthy way. So many kids don't know how to handle anger. They don't know how to handle different situations because they have all these big feelings. And we need to teach them in a healthy way that it's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to have these different emotions. But how can we handle them in a way that's healthy? And one of the things that we can add into an emotional wellness routine is actually adding our essential oils. So like our 4-year-old, things just get very blown out of proportion, right? To him, every little thing is the end of the world. I mean, he knows that when he feels like that, he can get his adaptive touch, or he can get his, he's been using a lot of Steady. Steady's a really great, it's a kid blend. So the ones on the right hand, the bullet points on the right hand side are actually the kids' kind of emotional support oils, the Calmer, Steady, Thinker, Brave. And he'll use Steady and adaptive when he feels just a little overwhelmed, and he'll just sit and he'll go, and he'll hold his bottle right underneath his nose. But it calms him down. And for him, it's a part of just a healthy way of it's reminding him to breathe. It's reminding him that it's okay. And if you've watched any of the emotional, been part of any of the emotional classes, you know that that oils actually help our brain to deal with those emotions. I'm gonna check. Okay, I'll go over the questions at the end. I was just making sure that wasn't saying that my PowerPoint died or something, which is possible. Okay, there are specific products. So I told you, don't give your kids the adult vitamins. You want specific strains. So this is a PB Assist Junior, which is a probiotic for kids. You want the correct strains. So don't just give your kid your probiotics, because they need different strains in their probiotics than you do. You also want to make sure that if you just went to like a normal store shelf for your probiotics or your vitamins, you need to make sure that it's ones that are bioavailable. And for probiotics specifically, you want to make sure that it survives through the stomach all the way to the gut. A lot of people are taking probiotics that get destroyed in the stomach and doing absolutely no good for them. And so these are strains that will survive to the stomach. And so these actually taste kind of like little pixie sticks. They don't have sugar. I believe it's xylitol, right? If I'm remembering right. Or maybe it's stevia. I don't remember which one it is in the PB Assist Junior. So it's not sugar, and it tastes like pixie sticks. My kids absolutely love them. So they just eat them like pixie sticks. But if your kid doesn't like that, you can always mix it into water or their juice or whatever else they're having that morning. Don't give your kids that LLV pack, right? They have different needs. doTERRA does have an A to Z chewable vitamin. 2 of these for a 4-year-old is a full dose. It's going to make sure that they've got the correct balance of that A, B, E, and C vitamins. Okay, so we use these for all of my kids. And then omegas. We all know how important omegas are for us. This is a cool fish supplement. It doesn't have that fishy taste that so many other fish supplements have. It's got a good wild orange taste. It's actually made with the wild orange essential oil. So they're getting the benefits of that wild orange essential oil, but then they're also getting 1,000 milligrams of that concentrated omega-3 fatty acids. And then there's my son, my 4-year-old when he was a baby. So let's talk about a few ways that we can use them. So in general, you know that as an adult, if you've got tummy troubles and you need digestive support, you can grab Digest Zen. Guess what? You can use that exact same oil for your kids, okay? Digest Zen was our hero with Lily when we first got started. Remember, she had tummy problems. And so you can grab that same oil. We're just diluting it a little bit more. That's the only difference. We're making sure that they don't need very much at all for it to be effective for them. So the digestive support, if your kids have that kind of problem, you can use Digest Zen or lavender. Lavender can be used for, look, I put it on every single thing on this list. For kids, it is the first thing I use for everything, lavender. It's got so many different chemical constituents, just covers all the basics. It's poor man's frankincense. It is just, you can pour it on anything and just see what happens because it's just that versatile. So we can use lavender for digestive support. Calmer actually is a great one too. And Tamer is actually the kids' digestive support blend. Ear support, so melaleuca, basil, lavender, or stronger. Well, we've used all of those successfully. We've never had to use anything else besides essential oils for ear support. And we've dealt with it a few times, and we've been successful every time. Soothing for the skin. So the first things that I'm grabbing for irritated skin is lavender, melaleuca, frankincense. And then if you want to grab a kid's blend, you could use Calmer. I believe Calmer has like that lavender in there. Oral support. So anything with their mouth, heavily diluted clove. Okay, so if they've got some discomfort in their gums, we can have some support for their mouth with heavily diluted clove. Copaiba is one of my favorites, as is lavender. Like I'm telling you, I put lavender on everything. Occasional eye irritation, breast milk in the eye, okay? That's the first thing I recommend. I also recommend trying colloidal silver, which is not doTERRA, but colloidal silver in the eye if you want something actually in the eye. Or there's also some homeopathic drops out there. But we'll use the oil kind of out here. I will try to stay farther away so that it's not as risky for it to get in their eye. But if it's a baby, I just do it in the bottoms of their toes. Reflexology points. And then for immune support, lavender, peppermint. Okay, stronger is the immune support for kids. It's making that immune system stronger, right? And then Calmer. So many of them cross over. So then last but not least, questions. I'm going to stop this recording and then we can kind of chat about all that we've gone over.